welcome back to my channel. I'm Carrie with some Pins and Books, and today I'm going to be doing the HRCYED 1.0 and 2.0 update. I know that I'm not all smiley and stuff at the moment. I apologize. I'm still grieving the loss of my 16-year-old pupper. That happened Tuesday of 2 weeks ago, so the 12th. Literally 12 days ago. I'm still mourning, I'm still grieving, but I'm slowly trying to incorporate my routine back to normal. So as the video goes, hopefully I will loosen up and be able to have a little bit more fun. But we'll see how it goes. How the video goes is okay, because like I said, I'm still grieving, I'm still mourning. I want to thank everyone who's been super patient and supportive during this time. So thank you for just thoughts, prayers, anyone who has sent them. I know that I posted a thing on here on YouTube, but a lot of people don't really read those, and I don't blame them. I don't normally read them either, but I also posted on Discord, and I know that there have been a lot of really good people on that Discord, and I'm incredibly grateful to you. For now that nearly crying experience is over, let's go on to the update. Alrighty, so updates for HRCYED 1.0. We have Full Moon was completed on the 15th. I can't remember exactly where it went. Here's the white prompts. I don't think it covered any white prompts. It did not. It probably would have covered fall, but we're not in fall yet. We'll see what Grave Peril is. Grave Peril is the next one that I'm reading next month, which will be in fall. Heartstruck was an ARC book that I started on the 7th and completed on the 13th. Really good book. Really enjoyed it. Shadowland by Meg Cabot is the beginning of the Mediator series. It is one that I've read before, but since it's been over a decade, it was allowed to be used as... It was allowed to be used for prompts. That could just be a 2.0 rule. I don't recall. But I went ahead and used it for this one as well. Legends and Lattes, as well as its little novella that came with it, Pages to Fill, both read and completed in a very short time. We have a main character who's a lesbian. No disabilities, though, for either of them. And then in Pages to Fill, technically we do have a main character who's a lesbian. But because it's not mentioned, I didn't put it on there. But I probably will change that. Actually, we do that now. There we go. Highlight this so I can easily see everything. Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare is the beginning of the Infernal Devices series. I have never read this one, so this is my first time reading it. We have a side character who is disabled. Technically, it doesn't count for disability, so I need to update my thing, because I think I put it out there for whatnot. So far, no mentions of any queer representation, but I'm still kind of keeping an eye out. I still have like 150 pages left, so we'll see how that goes. Creating a Modern Homestead by Victoria Pruitt. It was an ARC book. Really good book. If you're looking at possibly doing either a little homestead or even just cooking from scratch, has some really good recipes in there. Definitely one that I'm gonna be adding to my personal library. Pages to Fill. This one again was that little novella with Legends and Lattes. Also, by the way, Heartstruck was indie published. It was actually self-published by the author, Serafina Chen, who I have no idea. I couldn't find any information about her, really. So that could just be a pen name. Impossible Match by Rochelle Wolfe. I misspelled her name. It's supposed to have 2 F's there. Another ARC book. It was an ARC audiobook. Really good book. Not the greatest in my opinion. It could have been better. You can see by the rating. I didn't enjoy it too much. There was, I feel like, a whole bunch of stuff missing. But we do have a main character who is bi, as well as a main character who is a lesbian. I did the bi pan one instead of, at least I believe she's a lesbian. It's not actually mentioned if she is. But they are obviously in a relationship together, but they could have 2 characters who are bi, just being a lesbian relationship. I don't know. It didn't mention that, but one thing that was mentioned for definite is that there is a main character who is bi. She just prefers dating women versus men. So there you go. No disabilities in that one either. We have The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the second book to the Inheritance Games. Takes place in Texas. Actually, I need to put on there that it's complete. We have a side queer representation with no disabilities. Court is the audiobook that I'm currently listening to by Tracy Wolff. It is the fourth book in the Crave series, taking place... Actually, I need to take this off. It doesn't just take place in the U.S. and Alaska. It doesn't have one definite place that it takes place anymore, except for all over Europe, was a majority of the book. So, you know. We do have a side character who is a queer representation, as well as a side character who is disabled. Running by Cara McKay. I did read it. I did not finish it. This was a DNF. The first DNF as of this challenge. There was just parts of it that I just wasn't really getting into. The Handstone Wardrobe was again another ARC read. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Another one that I will be adding to my personal library. Sad Nuggie was a cute read. It was a humor, satire kind of novel. Actually, I think it already came out at the beginning of the month. It was another ARC read. It is indie published with Andrews McNeil. I know what I wrote, but I don't think I wrote it right. Publishing, but it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. So there you go. Then you have Preserving the Seasons by Holly Capel. Again, another really good book about just preserving, doing like preserves, things like that, making jams, jellies, preserving food, which also is covered in the Creating a Modern Homestead. Some of it is, but this one goes like into like a lot more detail on how to do so with certain foods. It even breaks it down to different foods, like it goes like apples, oranges, apricots, artichokes, and things like that. So another book that we'll be adding to my personal library. And then the current book that I am reading, the current ebook I'm reading, is Sails and Sirens. This is another ARC book by Midnight Tide Publishing. It's another indie book. So far it's really good, but I'm only like 13 pages in, so I can't say too much about whether or not I like or dislike it, I feel like. But yeah, so far it's really good. So here is our bingo board. I want to say that the garage sale books is updated for you guys, 1 out of 3. Small booktuber recommendations, 1 out of 5. Did definitely do that one. Queer Rainbow, you'll be seeing that in the individual challenges tab over there. 3 out of 7. A to Z challenge, 14 out of 26. So we are just one over that halfway point. We're getting there. Spell Your Name, we are halfway there with 6 out of 12. Pins and Books is almost done. New monthly release, we did read 1 for this month. The genre challenge, we're at 5 of 8, which I think we were before, so I don't think that's new. And then the rainbow challenge is 7 out of 10. And then, of course, we have our 2 that are already completed, which is our Kickstarter and our 500-page book in a day. Here are our individual challenges here. We have our alphabet challenge. We have Full Moon taking F, Heartstruck with H. And I think that's it. That's on this one. Everything else you guys have already seen. For the new releases, Impossible Match did release this month around, I think, the beginning of the month. Pins and Books, I don't think anything is new on here for you guys. I think everything is up to date. Our Queer Representation Challenge has 2 extras. We have the Lesbians with Legends and Lattes, and then we have Bi or Pan with one of our characters being bi. And then as well as our Rainbow Challenge is also updated for Meg Cabot's The Mediator. Technically it's only the first book that I read, but it does, it is inside that book. And you can actually break up. Someone said that about this. I could break up the individual stories, but I really didn't want to because they really were supposed to kind of work together. This one is 2 separate books in one larger book. So this one I felt okay about breaking up. So after going through my books and such, I realized that there was some I could take off. This 24-hour challenge here, which was a minimum of 3 books on this one, and then HRCYED 2.0 also has one as well that was also covered. is complete as well. So we have 3 on this one. So here we are, white prompts. The only ones that are updated is Legends and Lattes, which is a small booktuber recommendation. Angel Rose Reads recommended Legends and Lattes. Garage sale books, I got Shadowland, which is technically The Mediator, at a garage sale or a thrift store. The other one that you guys hadn't seen was our 24-hour challenge, which was the Handstone Wardrobe, Sad Nuggie, and Preserving the Seasons, all in one day. And that is it on that one. For 2.0, here we have our bingo board. Start with that. So we have our 24-hour readathon. This one you guys already saw, and then as you can see, I finished the nonfiction challenge as well. So here we are with our 24-hour readathon. I read a total of 3 books for a total of 828 pages. I did not record total time. I wasn't really paying attention to that one. I do know that my total time reading that day wasn't nearly as long as it probably could have been. A small chunk of stuff, a good chunk of stuff in Preserving the Seasons was recipes. And then the Handstone Wardrobe, some of it was like patterns and things like that, or advice for patterns and things like that. But I did read all 3 in one day, so they count. Subgenres of choice, we're going to have urban fantasy covered by Full Moon and cozy fantasy covered with Legends and Lattes. Alright, so the last 10 years, we have 2021 and 2022 covered, now with the Hawthorne Legacy and Pages to Fill. This, again, is just that little novella. Disability Challenge we have filled by Sad Nuggie, which was because the Sad Nuggie has anxiety. And you can see him at the end of every like little chapter going to like a therapist and things like that. The Even Bigger Rainbow has some added books. We have Heartstruck here for pink and The Mediator or Shadowland for black. I believe that is it on yes. On Read Through a Beloved Quote, the only ones we have a 2 and a V covered. Actually, I think it's the only 2 and last the covered, which is Pages to Fill and the Hawthorne Legacy. So now I just have to do the rest of the dang quote. Spooky Creatures, we have quite a few covered as well as some potentials. Jim Butcher Full Moon by Jim Butcher covered Magic User with a Wizard. Spirit, The Mediator with the Ghost. Sails and Sirens, I'm thinking is going to fit here for Mermaid. And Other Creatures, we have Gargoyles in Court, which I should be finishing in a couple days. Sails and Sirens, hopefully I'll finish within this month. We will see, which will only leave the Fae Folk. Animals, I had Creating a Modern Homestead. She was giving advice on how to raise backyard chickens. So chickens covered by the nonfiction book. The Even Bigger Queer Alphabet, I only did lesbian and bi/pansexual. It's the same 2 that you saw in the other one. New releases, we have a little bit different from HRCYED 1.0. So new releases, we're going to have August being The Impossible Match, which is the same as last one. And then September was covered with Heartstruck. So hopefully I have a book that I will be reading next month for September in our 1.0, because that one you have to read within the month. With 2.0 you can either read before, the month before, or after. As well as inside, of course. My nonfiction challenge, like I said, was completed with farming, with Creating a Modern Homestead, Food and Drink, Preserving the Seasons, covered food. And then the Handstone Wardrobe covered sewing. So yeah, that is it for that. When I rolled for a new challenge to focus on for HRCYED 2.0, it was the translation challenge. As you can see here, I have my books already chosen. They are being pushed through there. They're in the library. I just have to go and pick some of them up. We have Anna Karenina, which was Russian. The Three Musketeers, which is French. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Swedish. And then Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which was in Japanese. 2 of these will be able to also be listed as classics, which will go to the whole challenge yourself thing, because I wanted to read at least 5 classics during this challenge, which as you can see are right here. I am not. I was thinking about making those a little bit larger, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Where is there it is. So here we are. Actually, I might do that because that looks so much nicer than the ones I have. We'll see. We'll see how I decide to do that. Anyway, my brain is slightly deflating as I go. But yeah, so these are the books that I am looking at doing for it. But as you can see with the nonfiction challenge, sometimes things get subbed out, put in, things like that. It is what it is. But yeah, so I mean, like, just because I have it here down here doesn't mean it's going to end up staying there. I could end up reading a book that, before I finish one of these, and it's going to swap out for it. That's why I didn't get to those nonfictions that I was looking forward to, but I ended up getting to these first. But yeah, so that is it for our updates. Before I finish, I almost forgot. I was going to also add a readathon to my September TBR, and I decided to do Aurelium, the 2025 Autumn Equinox for Moon Warden. I'll post a link down below to Book Roast Aurelium readathon playlist, or at least to her channel. The readathon seems like it's a lot of fun. You create a character, and then you can go through the novel. You don't have to go through the novice quest like I did. I just wanted to do it because it seemed like a lot of fun. But I have a month to get through my studies, which these are the grades I have to get in those studies. But this is what I'm going to be doing September. I'm really excited to do it. But yeah, so we managed to finish another square on both HRCYED 1.0 and 2.0, which I'm really excited for. The readathon, currently I was doing the novice path. So this is the novice path. There was a book here, but it turns out that it doesn't have the right setting that I needed for this one. So I need to see if one of the other books I've read or that was on this month's TBR works. But either way, I completed the novice path. I completed the requirement for them, which was to read just 2 books in order to get into Aurelium Academy, which is why I'm going to be starting my very first semester next month. I do plan on being an overachiever and playing all the other ones, but probably whenever I lessen how many TBRs or how many games I'm playing. How many games I'm playing, down to maybe just 1 game and then the different challenges. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please forgive my not so enthusiastic ways in this video. Like I said, I am still kind of getting back into my daily, my daily routine, my weekly routine. There's just a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I will see you guys next time. Happy reading, guys.